talk about. So if we take the generalization and we don't categorize people into categories and therefore say that we need to respect certain groups of people, then respect becomes a little bit different. Then it becomes what qualities, what values, what personalities you have within you that allows me to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, we were told to respect religious authorities. Some religious authorities don't, they are so beyond respect that we don't want to respect them. Or policemen, for that matter. These days, people don't respect policemen because they've seen cruelty through the years from the policemen. Are there any
Right.
good policemen? Of course. So, not categorizing, respecting people into category, I think makes it a lot more easier to define respect. And what qualities do people need to have in order for me to respect them?
Okay, this is a good
Does that
question.
make sense?
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Go ahead.
So I came up with about 14 or 15 qualities
Mm.
that a person needs to have in order to gain a respect for themselves. First and foremost, they need to have confidence within themselves. They need to be authentic and genuine. They need to live their truth. They need to come from integrity. They do what they say and they say what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They live by higher standards, and they have higher standard values. Their belief system is on a higher level, a higher standards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, People that are respectful, they know what they want, and they go after what they want. Yet they don't sabotage or uh, they don't take away someone else's freedom uh, or respect in order to get what they want. They value someone else's desires and wants as much as they value themselves. So they don't sabotage or undermine someone else's wants and desires. And uh, they take responsibility for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is that they are responsible for what they do, and when they make a mistake, they realize the mistake, they learn from their mistakes, and they move on. They are extremely determined. They have a mentality of no matter what, I will do this, and they live life in ecology. That means that when they make a decision, they make decisions based on three principles. Is it good for me? Is it good for you? And is it good for the planet? So they consider everything equally when they make a decision. It's not just about them and what they want. It's about the totality of our planet, totality of humanitarian. And they are motivated to get what they want, and they also motivate us. They have that ability of leadership. They when they talk, they inspire. And there is a when they communicate, they don't um, they don't undermine you, they don't mock you, they don't belittle you, they don't use words that are degrading. They come from compassion, so their communication is very influential. When they talk, I feel safe, I feel acknowledged, I feel that I'm being heard and I'm being cared for. And going on, they're accepting. What that means is when we when there are difference of opinions, uh, I don't judge you. I am accepting completely of who you are and what you stand for. So there are no judgment. They see all people as equal. Usually, again, tangenting, going a little bit off content here. when people say I respect this person, usually when the respect is attached to a certain kind of status, either a financial status or either a social status, who they are in the community, how much they can influence. So there are a lot of attachment to respect. We sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously, we don't respect our cleaning lady as much as we respect our doctors. We don't treat them the same way. If someone is being respectful, they treat everyone equally. They treat the human, not the label that we give them. Um, I think that's a lot of good qualities right there.
Right, exactly, exactly. So if you find someone like this, let me know. Uh,
I
I'm just,
You don't
I'm
need
just
to have
joking. I'm
all of
sure.
these.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
you don't need to have all of these qualities to be respected. You can be, um, as I said, a cleaning woman, an honest cleaning woman that does her job with integrity, does take care of her kids with integrity. That person is respectful, regardless of their social status or what label we give them.
Amazing, amazing. Coach Bonnie, how we can deal with people that are not respectful?
Respectful towards us or towards uh,
You're
I
working with
think I
someone,
get
or you have a friend, and all the time you are a giver person. You are kind and you are nice all the time. You treat him very good and nicely and very friendly and kind, but that person is not respectful. So
that
uh,
means that
in the
that
different
that
way, in the
means
different way.
that when someone is not respectful to us, that means that they're not valuing our boundaries, and we are not being very firm with our boundaries. We may have boundaries, yet when someone is disrespecting our boundaries, we don't stand up for ourselves, and we don't speak up. We let it slide once or twice and three times, and then we get angry, we get resentful, we get pissed off at the person. But at the end of the day, uh, no one can disrespect you if we don't allow it.
Exactly.
We allow, yes.
We should
So
keep the boundary and make a boundaries
exactly,
for them.
exactly. Setting stronger boundaries with that particular person that constantly breaks boundaries and feels entitled. A lot of us feel entitled, and we uh, don't respect where I stop, where I end, and where you begin. And we kind of like enmesh together. And a lot of times we think like we are joking or we are making fun or we're being funny. And we don't realize that what we are saying is actually crossing the boundaries with that other person. So if, in that case, that person needs to stand firm and set stronger boundaries. And if the person keeps disrespecting the boundaries, there needs to be definitely consequences
Right.
for constantly breaking the boundaries. So you need to set the consequences. Uh, Maybe you need to delete that person from your life or not see them as often, or let them know that how they're disrespecting your boundaries, how is that making you feel. Communication definitely is very important, and definitely boundaries. You need to work on your boundaries.
What about mirror action? Like you're doing same thing with them to show them how bad is this behavior.
I See, the person that is doing the wrong action is probably not seeing it as they're doing something wrong. This is how they are hardwired, and this is their habitual way of behaving. So it by acting the same way as they do, I don't want to bring myself down or low enough to that energy level
Exactly.
in order to teach them,
I'm
themselves.
sorry. I 100% agree with you, but someone bring that behavior. It's a good to to be with them like that or to do with them like that. But I'd like to know your opinion about this.
So let's for pretend that that's what we're doing. If that kind of a behavior, it's not who I am, and it's not at essence what I believe it is. It takes a certain kind of energy to become someone else that I'm not, especially
Exactly.
if that thing is a negative behavior. So it drains your energy. Why would someone want to drain their energy and bring their vibration down to someone else's level because they're doing something um, out of boundary or out of respect? You don't want to bring yourself down to that level. Always hang out with people that bring your energy level up. Fly with eagles instead of instead of being with chickens. Find friends that are like eagles. Fly with eagles. That's I think definitely that's a wrong approach. I don't want to label it right or wrong. Sometimes we do react when people are insensitive to our boundaries and to our wants and needs, and when they cross boundaries. Yet be mindful of how you respond rather than react, and uh, always strive to bring your energy higher rather than lower.
Okay, so you mentioned two different way. You said set the boundaries, and also sometimes you need to delete that person in your life. Like,
Real life.
is it like a flight? Because we don't want to do flight and go somewhere. Is it any way to improve this relationship? uh, Set the boundaries is helpful. What else?
Communication. I mean, you need to be communicating effectively with that person, telling them what feelings are coming up for you, what is working in that relationship, what is not working with that relationship. Set stronger boundaries. And if someone constantly breaks these boundaries, I don't care who they are, if they even they're your mother, your husband, your wife, whoever they are, they you need to feel comfortable in that relationship. You need
All right.
to feel like you are being acknowledged, you're being respected, you're being um, cared for and honored. If all of these things are not happening, I don't see a reason why someone would want to continue in that relationship. I'm not saying throw it away. Of course, give it chances. Yet, if it's constantly happening, then there is something within us. There is some kind of an attachment or some kind of a low self esteem that is not allowing us to cut the cord and say, you know what, this happened this many times, and because I respect myself, I'm not able to go on with this relationship.
Uh,
Consequences.
and you mentioned about the cut the cord. What is that?
So energetically, when we are in contact or in relationship with someone, we have an energetic cord.
Mm-hmm. You're
We exchange
connected,
energies. We exchange energies. If someone is constantly draining my energy,
right?
and uh, no matter how strong boundaries I set and how I communicate through that person, and nothing penetrates through that person, that energetically cutting the cord means that that person has does not have an energetic influence on my life anymore. they don't they don't they don't decide my happiness and not happiness. I am responsible for my happiness. I'm responsible for my own results. I'm responsible for my own actions. So you're cutting the energetic cord. Doesn't mean that you're not going to see that person ever again, but the meaning of it is that they don't hold power over you anymore. You're
Right.
cutting their power off, actually. So they're not influencing you. They're not powering you with negative energy.
Right, right. The first time I cut the cord, it was cutting cord with my mom. So, and after that, I learned it's good to do it every week. You know, because during a week we're connected with the different people, and you know, everybody they have some energy and connected to you with some energy,
Exactly,
and it's good to do
exactly,
it. You know, set the time and do it like every Friday night or Sunday evening, sometimes like that.
absolutely. So I
Right.
have a technique that is from a Hawaiian technique from Hunu. Ancient Hawaiians did this, and it's called Ho'oponopono technique, and it's a
Yeah.
forgiveness technique.
Right.
And through this technique, as you said, because we are in contact with people um, over the week and every day, this negative energy builds up, and it's a good practice to cut the cord, as you said, every week. Some people do it every night before they go to bed. Some people do
Wow.
it every week. It's an easy and very, very effective technique that actually releases a lot of negativity within us. Maybe next time I do a recording so you can put it on for your audience. They can use it, and they can actually
Yeah, yeah,
forgive
it's a very
people
good,
that have
yeah, it's a very good practice. It takes something around maybe 15 minutes, 20
the
minutes.
the more you do it, the faster you become at it. You know, there's three parts to it, and then once all that three parts are done, you cut the cord and you feel this amazing release and liberation.
So, when we are doing this practice, let's say set the date,
Set the
because our
date.
audience,
I
yeah,
think
because
I'm
our
on.
audience they want to know when you want to do this, to follow up with that date and watch that program.
Perfect. So I think I'm on Tuesday. I can definitely prepare something for Tuesday and do it live with the audience.
Okay, you're talking about the next Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Today is Thursday, so
Thursday.
the
Okay.
coming Tuesday.
So, coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. Los Angeles time, Pacific time. Very
That's
good.
right.
Thank you so much for last minute about respect.
Last minute about respect.
1 minute. 1 minute.
uh, so let since we talk also about relationship a lot, let's talk about what respect is in a relationship. When we build trust, when we are kind and compassionate, when we allow our differences to bring us closer rather than to uh, make us apart from each other. So in relationship, respect is very, very important. And being authentic and genuine, being able to be vulnerable with your partner, talking compassionately and bringing the best out of your partner. And it's a mutual interaction between the two partners that respect is earned when we show up constantly with the mindset of you are as important as I am in this relationship. When we show up as compassionate, when we show up as caring, then that relationship starts to build the respect that it needs to be a healthy relationship.
Right. Amazing.
And I don't. One last thing about uh, respect.
Respect.
don't confuse respect with obedience, with compliances, with common sense courtesy, with politeness. All of those um, compass they are the ingredient for respect, but they're not the root meaning of respect.
In the short way, if you want to compare with all this you said, how you can do that?
Say it again.
I said in the short way, if you want to explain what's the difference and compare with between, politeness, respect, and the other things.
Okay, so politeness, courtesy, it's very subjective. What might be polite to me in one culture might be very rude in another culture.
Exactly.
So, but respect comes from who you are inside, from your values, what belief system you have. It's those values that you hold dear to yourself. They're your core values that make who you are who you are.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate.
Always good to be with you.
Thanks you. It's my pleasure, and see you next time.
Take care. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
You too. Bye bye.